What's up, guys? Welcome back to Talkin Ball. I'm your host, Seth, and this is your home for college sports. Let's get right into it. Okay, guys, the top 25 AP poll came out, and Georgia's obviously number one. But 2 through 25, I'll break down the top 25. Michigan is number 2. Ohio State is 3. Bama is 4. And LSU is 5. Now, I could see 2 through 4 switching. I do kind of. I guess Michigan was in the playoffs last year. Ohio State could have been 2. I could have seen that. They did play Georgia close in the game. But they have Michigan and Jim Harbaugh at 2. Bama is at 4. Alabama could have been 2, honestly, as well. LSU at 5. I kind of like that. They might have been a little high. USC probably could have been 5 as well. Penn State is 7. Florida State is 8. I kind of like Florida State being at 8. Clemson is 9. I kind of like Florida State being above Clemson right now. We'll have to see how that does. They do play each other during the season, so it could be an interesting game. Washington is at 10. I'm not sold on Washington just yet. They seem kind of high at 10, in my opinion. Texas is at 11. They seem kind of underrated. I'm not gonna lie. Texas is underrated, believe it or not, in my opinion, on the top 25. I think they'll be higher than that as we go on in the season. Now, Tennessee is also, I think, kind of low in the top 25 rankings at 12. Notre Dame at 13. I can see where that is. Notre Dame at 13. Utah is 14. Oregon is 15. They got Utah above Oregon right now, but they got Washington above both those. And then USC is number 1 in the Pac-12. They are ranked 6. Now, Kansas State is 16. That's okay for now. They might move up a little more as the season goes on. And then TCU is at 7. I think they're overrated. I don't see TCU being one in the top 25 as the season goes on. I see them not being capable or not having as good of a year this year as they did last year. I think they missed their quarterback a lot their quarterback from last year a lot. So they're at 17. Oregon State is at 18. We'll see how they do at 18. Seems kind of high. DJ Uiagalelei, they're going to be quarterbacks, so that's probably why they got Oregon State as high. And they did have a pretty good season last year as well. But we will see. Wisconsin is at 19. I think that is definitely too high for Wisconsin. 20 is Oklahoma. We'll see how they play this year. If they are better this year than they were last year. North Carolina at 21. I'm okay with that. Ole Miss 22. Yeah. Might have been a couple different SEC teams I would have at 22 or above Ole Miss. But Texas A&M is at 23. They are definitely overrated. We'll talk about them. Tulane is at 24. And Iowa is at 25. I do like Iowa this year. So we'll see how they do in the top 25. Now, I do want to go over the top 25 in the rankings. Washington definitely seems kind of high, but I want to talk about Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher. The coaches poll had them at 25. which I thought was interesting and high. Then the AP poll comes out, they're 23, which is pretty telling for me, I must say. That they're trying to get Jimbo gone, I believe. But here, I'll tell you why I think that is. Texas A&M didn't even make a bowl game last year, and they have them ranked in the top 25. That's pretty interesting, I must say. As far as Jimbo and Bobby Petrino, I mean, it probably could work out, but I did see a press conference the other day with Bobby in it, and Bobby was already throwing blame on Jimbo about why things wouldn't, if they don't work. He's already showing why things may not work. He has had some interesting comments about the game plan. He said most everything's done during the week. So as far as the question might have been if he was going to call the plays and things like that, but he shifted all of it on the head coach to Jimbo, saying that most of he's the boss. I mean, everything falls on Jimbo, not me. It's not the offense coordinators. Most everything. If Jimbo doesn't want to follow what I say during the week, the game plan during the week, then that's on him. That's not on me. Bobby's already shifting the blame on Jimbo. I'm sure Jimbo's going to shift the blame on Bobby. But I'm sure Bobby will play nice for as long as he can at Texas A&M. I see it more of he's gonna have to take it out on somebody. So it probably gonna be the quarterback at first. You'll see Wegman. We'll see if Connor Wegman can how long Wegman can deal with that because Jimbo's gonna let Bobby get on to these guys. That's one thing. Jimbo preaches toughness. He wants his players to be mentally tough. We'll see how mentally tough Connor Wegman can be at Texas A&M with Bobby there. But then once a wide receiver drops the ball, then Bobby's going to want to go after him too. And then you got maybe a wide receiver coach tries to defend his guy. Say, well, the quarterback didn't throw it in the right spot, maybe. And Bobby said, well, it touches his hand. He got to catch that ball, and then we'll see how Bobby works with the other coaches, the wide receiver coach, the coaches that Bobby feels are under him, because the wide receiver coach is technically under Bobby, but then a running back misses a block maybe, or doesn't hit the right hole. Offensive lineman doesn't get a block, and the play blows up. We'll see how Bobby reacts to that. That will be interesting. How he reacts to all the other things besides Jimbo, because we've been mostly concentrating on Jimbo and Bobby, but it could also be Bobby and the other guys around him, the players, the coaches, the other coaches. We'll see how they get along in College Station, but another interesting team would be in the top 25 would be Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. They have them at 22. They play Mercer, Tulane, Georgia Tech to open up. Then they got at Alabama against LSU at home against Arkansas. So they're gonna have some games early on that you expect Lane Kiffin to beat. If they stumble at Tulane, that will be interesting to me. What the perception of the Ole Miss team will be, because that game is at Tulane on September 9th as well. Then you got Wisconsin at 19, which I find very interesting, I must say. They do have first year head coach or first year head coach, um, Luke Fickle. So they do bring back some running back Braylon Allen. So we'll see how they do. I did pick them 10-2. So, but it seems kind of interesting that they're at 19 already. As far as that, they went 7-6 last year. They were fifth in the Big 12 in the West. Um, as far as TCU, on the other hand, yeah, I definitely think they are overranked. That's a team that I see struggling this year, kind of a lot more than they did last year. Sonny Dykes did bring in Kendall Briles as offensive coordinator after their offensive coordinator left um, to go to Clemson. So should be interesting. They do have Chandler Morris at quarterback, but they lost Max Duggan at quarterback. You don't just replace Max Duggan and then all of a sudden be at the same level as you were last year. It's not going to work like that. They did have Quentin Johnston in they lose him to the draft as well. So could be an interesting season. A lot of people have them still ranked. They got them at 17, so they know they're gonna have a drop off. They just don't know how big of a drop off. I see it a lot more than 17. I think TCU goes 6-6 this year. That is my what I have them as their record. I have them losing at Houston, BYU, losing BYU, at Kansas State, at Texas Tech, Texas, then at Oklahoma. I have those all losses, which they could win against Houston and BYU and be 8-4, but that's still not where they were last year. They were one of the playoff teams. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. And as far as Washington, I see Utah being above Washington, uh, and we'll wait on that one. Oregon, I know Bo Nix and Oregon, I have them above Washington as well, which seems like a lot of people are picking Washington. Michael Penix Jr. They like him as far as a quarterback. He had 8 interceptions last year. He did throw a lot of yards, but I'm just not seeing. They open the season against Boise State. We'll see if they can take care of them. Then they go at Michigan State on September 16th. That's no guarantee for Washington. Some people have Michael Penix Jr. as a Heisman candidate right now. I don't see it. That's not. I just don't understand really the high. I know they were 11-2 last year, 7-2 in the Pac-12. But I just do not see them being one of the better teams or the top team in the Pac-12. They might be one of the better teams. I probably third or fourth. I don't see them being above you. Well, they're not even above USC, but I don't see them being above Utah or Oregon in the Pac-12. And then you got Oregon State at 18. There's still a lot of question marks on them as well. Jonathan Smith, he's been there 5 years. He is 26-31 as head coach. That's why I'm just not sure about Oregon State as well. They were 10-3 last year, 6-3 in the Pac-12. But as well, they do have DJ Uiagalelei, the transfer from Clemson that came over. We will see how they do there. They open the season September 3rd at San Jose State. Could be an interesting game. The pieces have to fit. So we'll see on that one. But I'm okay with the top 25 in the AP. Michigan, Ohio State. I might flip Ohio State above Michigan. That's just my personal. I know Michigan beat them last year and and stuff. We don't know about Jim Harbaugh just yet. Um, he was supposed to be suspended. They said they had an agreement and he was going to be suspended. But now they don't know how long he's going to be suspended. They open the season September 2nd, East Carolina. Then they play UNLV, then Bowling Green, then Rutgers. Then at Nebraska, at Minnesota, Indiana, at Michigan State, against Purdue, at Penn State, at Maryland, at home against Ohio State. So, really? They got an easy schedule. So, they'll probably be up in one of the top. They'll probably be two for all season long. And if Georgia slips, which I don't see, but if Georgia does slip, then Michigan might move up to number one. They do seem like they got a pretty easy schedule this year. They don't play Iowa, so no Illinois. They do have at Penn State on November 11th. That could be a really good game. One of the top games with Penn State. Penn State's the team that I like. James Franklin and the Nittany Lions. He's gonna have a good season. That Penn State opens the season against West Virginia, which West Virginia's interesting too, because they might have a coaching change in the middle of the season. We'll have to see. They might wait till after the season on that one. But Penn State starts with West Virginia. Big Ten play. They start at Illinois. Could be an interesting game with Brett Bielema in Illinois. Then they got at home against Iowa on September 23rd. At Northwestern September 30th. At Ohio State on October 21st. That's gonna be a good game. At Ohio State. So a lot of good games coming up. A lot of good teams, top teams. I'm looking forward to it. I know you as well. We'll have to wait on those though. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.